Is that anything in my headphone jack? Do I have any? Okay. Well, we're just gonna skip that. I've been bawling my eyes out for like 20 minutes and nobody could hear me. I can't. I've been reading for a very, very long time. Is it 40 minutes now? And nobody could hear me through the whole thing. All the time I spent apologizing and stuttering. Nobody could actually hear, so there's no need for me to apologize. That's wonderful. I would have apologized to myself anyways. But, if you hear me, like, cry or something, it's almost over. If you hear me cry or something before I start speaking the words that made me cry, my brain can comprehend words a lot faster than I can say them out loud. So, yeah. I don't know how good this mic quality is. I don't know if it's any worse than my last one or any better than my last one. But I'm really sorry to the person that sat through silence for 45 minutes, because I commend you. Congratulations. You are a wonderful human being. So thank you. I'm gonna get back to reading now. Or I guess you... I'm gonna start reading. So, I haven't been able to get through this first sentence without choking over my tears. So let's do this now that something else has happened and it distracted my brain from the crying. I'm really, really, really sorry to the person that sat here and watched this for 45 minutes with no audio. That is a feat. It had been 3 days since Bokuto's passing. And surely enough, sleep did not come to Akashi as easily as he used to. In the span of those 3 days, he had only acquired a little over 4 hours of sleep in total. On the first night of the 3, Akashi flat out refused to get any rest in the fear of suffering another night terror. But during the other 2 nights, he surely did make the effort to try and lull himself to sleep, but each time he did, he either found himself staring awake from a strange dream or lying awake in the middle of the night, half expecting to receive a message from Bokuto. Honey, oh no! At times, Akashi would look through the conversations they'd shared with him. He'd scroll up until the first text and then scroll all the way down again, waiting for the Liz to appear on the lower left side of the screen. But always, he'd receive nothing. That night was no different as Akashi repeated this action for the 20th time that day, his thumb scrolling up and down for minutes on end until he finally came to a stop. When he had, however, instead of shutting off his phone and trying to force a few hours of sleep upon him, Akashi stared longingly at the screen, reading the last messages that were sent between them. Hey Akashi, are you awake? Yes, I am. What is it? I'm excited for you to come over tomorrow. I visit you every day, though. I know, you never miss a day, excuse me. You never miss a day. Don't your parents ever ask why you come here so much? They think I'm interning, so they don't mind. Oh, works for me. I would hope so. It works for me as well. I'll be sure to bring my laptop when I visit. We can watch Cloud Atlas again. Yes, please! Thank you, Akashi! December 20th at 3:45 a.m. You probably fell asleep. Sorry for always messaging you so late. Sleep well, Akashi. I'll see you soon. Akashi frowned and felt that familiar pain pierce his chest. He reread, Sleep well, Akashi, and hailed with frailty. I'm trying. He couldn't bring himself to read over the last 4 words of the text again. Oh no! And ultimately shut off his phone. He placed it on a counter near his bedside and buried himself in the blanket that he had so openly shared with Bokuto. Akashi inhaled deeply and closed his eyes, his eyebrows knitting together as his brow creased. It still smelled like him. I'm gonna go grab my comfort item. I will be right back. I'm gonna mute my mic while I'm going in case anything happens with the guinea pig. Alright. 2 comfort items and a screeching guinea pig later. I don't know why she does this. Every time I enter the room, she does this. Akashi relaxed himself against his mattress and closed his eyes, a powerless yawn leaving him. His head eased into his pillow, and to his surprise, within a matter of minutes he could feel himself slipping. It felt strange, not falling asleep against Bokuto's body. But Akashi knew that he would have to get used to this form of sleeping all by his lonesome again. Once again. He just hoped that the night wouldn't bring him any malevolent dreams. All he wanted was to see Bokuto again, even if just for a second. An exhausted breath left him, and Akashi finally fell asleep. That night he dreamt of the first night Bokuto had come over to his home. He dreamt of how Bokuto buried himself into the navy blue blanket to watch the movie that played on a laptop screen, and how he'd held Bokuto in his arms that night to aid him in an attempt to sleep. He could still remember the small details, like how Bokuto's starry shirt would slip off his shoulder every so often when he stirred in bed, and I could feel Bokuto's weight against him, and how the feel of Bokuto's weight on him would take his breath away. Akashi could still feel the sensation of his wild white and black hair brushing against his cheek whenever he moved, and the warmth that came from him as he held him close. It was all still there, but there was something different about it all that puzzled Akashi. At one point in his dream, Akashi looked out the window. The night sky had suddenly become a pale blue, and the warm orange glow of the sun slowly spread across the horizon. He turned his head slowly to look at Bokuto, and watched him as he lay in his arms. Akashi said his name, and to this Bokuto started awake. He turned his head and met Akashi's gaze with weary, well-rested eyes. He stretched and stifled a yawn, pushed a hand through the mess of his hair, and relaxed his head against Akashi's shoulder. Sunlight broke into this room, cascading along the walls and floor, and casting shadows all around. It lit Bokuto's face up just enough for Akashi to take in his healthy features that were staring back at him. He felt his heart accelerate, and his throat tightened as his vision blurred. Bokuto beamed at him with a smile that spoke 1,000 words, and his hand reached out to touch Akashi's cheek. Akashi felt his palm, warm, full, caressing around his face. He leaned to this touch. His vision began to fade, his eyes welling with tears. Bokuto leaned in and touched his forehead to Akashi's. He was only a blurred shape now, but Akashi knew he was still there. Bokuto spoke, his voice peaceful. Oh no. 12 deep. Oh. I found you. I should say that a different way. I found you. A trembling, tender laugh escaped Akashi. He smiled. You found me. No. watered down side effects. Holy shit. Let's read some of the comments, shall we? Can I see them, please? I'm fucking crying so hard and I can't stop. Holy shit, save me. Also, bless you, and thank you for writing this. I am in love with this fic in your writing style. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Broccoli. Thank you so much for reading. You're a very kind man. Oh, don't be sorry. I love the angst. Please keep writing. I will wait. South the apple splitter. Oh no. It's not legal. Is there? I'm gonna have to reread this, like, on stream again. Can I see? Yes, I can. In another life. Okay, I don't know who this is, but I don't know, like, what that is. Oh, it's not even by them. So there was only one written in 2015. I'm gonna read some fluff. I'm gonna continue this stream and read a little bit of fluff because I am in the mood for some fluff. Let's go to my... This is one of my comfort chips. But now we're gonna go Tsukiyama fluff. I want straight up fluff. Tags. Part 7. Part 1. Okay. Oh, I'm not reading that. I'm not reading any of that. Oh, no, thank you. I am not reading any of that. None of that. I am not. No, thank you. I'm gonna reread this one. I read this. This will be the third time I've read this. Kei and Tadashi in a flower shop. Supreme Thunder. Kei, did you organize the flower pots outside like I asked? Or have you been sneering at your phone all day? Again. Akiteru Tsukishima frowns exaggeratedly at his adored younger brother, ruffling his hair and pushing him outside. The Tsukishimas have always owned this small flower shop, and for as long as Kei can remember. His father and mother revel in growing and nurturing blossoms of all varieties, and even their house is full of potted plants, which Kei has a tendency to trip over. A lot. Mostly because he's too busy ignoring their cliched kitsy existence. Did I pronounce that right? He and his brother have helped out at the shop since they were toddlers, and Akiteru loves it. He can name any number of flowers, from your standard local varieties to the more exotic species, which have to be given special care. But it's not really Kei's thing. And he's pretty sure he's allergic to at least 5 varieties they sell in a small shop, because being in here gives him a constant headache and an urgent desire to get as far away from the colorful multitude of gaudy flowers as he possibly can. As fast as he possibly can. But, alas, it is not to be. His monthly allowance depends on working a certain number of hours here every week, and working at a parent's shop is much less of a pain than finding a part-time job at a convenience store or something, which will make it necessary for him to actually interact with customers. Because that is the worst possible thing that Kei Tsukushima can imagine. That is a mood right there. Having to take off his headphones and actually talk to people. Because Kei hates people. He's happy sweeping the floors, organizing flower pots, cleaning up the shop, balancing accounts. He's especially good at making floral arrangements, though he won't admit it, and he gets his feathers easily ruffled if anyone praises him for them. Shoulders slumped, headphones blaring, Kei grabs a broom and starts sweeping the store's front, while Akiteru happily talks about different colored roses and their symbolic meanings to a bunch of overly excited middle school girls. A couple of them kept glancing over at him, elbowing each other a little too obviously, but Kei only humps angrily and carries on sweeping dejectedly. It's just him and Akiteru at the shop today. Their parents have gone on a short trip together, something gross to do with viewing cherry blossoms and reliving their honeymoon. Kei is so lost in the lyrics of the song blaring in his ears he isn't really acknowledge the boy at first. Tadashi Yamaguchi is used to not being noticed anyway. His looks are average, and there's something about him which only attracts the wrong kind of attention from people. So usually he's very happy not being acknowledged. But today's special. He needs a bouquet of flowers for his mother's birthday. He's been saving his allowance for a while now. He will not leave the shop without flowers. And he's been practicing this in his head since last night. He's looked up the directions to the nearest best rated flower shop close to his new home. He's googled some helpful tips about buying flowers, and he stood in front of the mirror in the washroom practicing how to talk to the shopkeeper. Tadashi. That. Don't we all have to do that? But the minute he lays his eyes on the sullen boy sweeping in front of the cute little flower shop, all of his research goes right out the window. Tadashi knows that he should probably go inside and seek assistance from the cheerful boy at the counter instead of his hulking, sulking presence, sweeping up dead leaves, headphones clamped on ears, slightly sweating in a fitted black t-shirt and dark jeans. That is an image. Think about that image that was just shown and tell me that it is not a good outfit on Tsuki. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, a cute outfit, I think is the right words that I'm thinking of. A t-shirt that is sticking to his well-toned frame and jeans which define his manliness really nicely. But this person does not seem to realize that Tadashi is standing next to him. I forgot about that part, but that's fine. So Tadashi does something impulsive and sort of inappropriate. He pokes the tall boy in the small of his back. It's like right above the butt, I think. Kei jumps at the sudden unexpected contact and turns to face his attacker. Thinking it's probably Akiteru, he wields his broom like a sword, ready to fend off any further poking. But the boy in front of him looks twice as startled as he is, his dark hair standing up haphazardly and the freckles all over his face, and a weak, pathetic sort of smile. Kei wouldn't look twice at someone this average, this wimpy look. Kei wouldn't look twice at someone this average, this wimpy looking, if he passed them by on the street. But something about this particular boy throws him off his guard. He stands there frozen, broom still extended, gaping. He thinks he's seen this boy around town recently, but he cannot be sure. He raises his eyebrows questioningly and removes his headphones. Tadashi completely loses the will to speak as he takes in the taller boy's bleached hair. His hair's not bleached. His hair's not bleached. Duh. My hair is bleached. My hair is like yellow. What's that one meme that's like, my name's Jason and I'm a natural blonde? Jason isn't the actual name, it's just the only name I could think of. His expressionless face and his bored eyes hiding behind square glasses. Then he blushes, profusely and unexpectedly. And to his surprise, so does the other boy. When Akiteru comes out to see what's taking Kei so long with slipping up, he has to rub his eyes twice to make sure he's not hallucinating. Kei is smiling. Not what normal people consider smiling, but what Akiteru knows to be Kei's specific brand of happiness. Slightly curled lips and a relaxed brow. And he's talking, having an actual proper conversation, with words and sentences and everything, with a boy about his age, about flowers, explaining to him why getting potted plant with small purple flowers would be a better present for his mother's birthday than a bouquet that'll die in about a week. Akiteru retreats quietly to the back of the shop and waits for Kay to finish talking to the boy, wrap up a small white plot with blossoming asters in it, and wave him off, still smiling. And Akiteru refrains from teasing his younger brother when he asks about flowers and their meanings later that night. Or when the dark-haired boy with the sweet freckled face returns to the shop the next day with homemade cookies to thank Kay for helping him with his mother's present, which she very much happened to like. Or when the same boy comes to the shop every other evening just staying around and stays for dinner, and then goes off to Kay's room, smiling shyly. Or when a week later, Kay starts growing a special pot of pink and white gloxinias for someone who he refers to as that Yamaguchi boy, his cheeks going ever so slightly pink. You good? Sound like you're losing your voice a little there, Toffee. Okay. Are you okay? Don't look at me like that if you bite me. I'll be right back. I gotta make sure she's good.